If we don't see the 1.5 million barrel a day cut, what happens to oil?
I would argue, regardless of the size, it's too little, too late. And the reason for that, demand fell off sharply in China going back at least 3 to 4 weeks ago. Yeah, it may be recovering in China, but ex-China, it's now beginning to deteriorate. You look at the forward curve, it's already pricing in that inventory build going forward. So the question is, how do they mitigate the build in inventories as we look out towards the course of the end of this year? So I think the downside risk is still there. We're comfortable with our April target of $45 a barrel on a Brent basis.
And the big note that you had the other day that I emailed you about was that global demand now for this year you see is negative, about falling 150,000 barrels of oil a day. It's the first time we would have seen that since the financial crisis. If OPEC can't stabilize the market, if we don't see a V-shaped recovery, what's your bearish case?
Well, I think to drop too far below $40 a barrel, you need to blow out storage, meaning that the inventories grow so much that they breach storage capacity and you get a dislocation of the spot price relative to the forward price, and that's where the environment you could sink into that $30 a barrel range. Barring breaching storage capacity, we think somewhere in the low 40s is probably a reasonable downside scenario, consistent with a moderate type recession environment, similar to, say, let's say 2001.
Is OPEC really going to stand for that? Can they really handle that?
Again, I think it's that the damage is done. By the time they cut production and come to an agreement, you're talking a reduction in April supplies. The demand damage is happening today, right now. We think, you look at China, it's probably down somewhere between 3 and 4 million barrels per day. The hit to jet demand in the West, and particularly ex-China, is another million barrels per day. So we could be down upwards of 5 million barrels per day, maybe even 6 right now. So cutting production 1.5 million barrels per day in April or May is not really going to save you in the current environment. Again, that's why I like to say it's too little, too late.